Hi everyone, we are here at the State Academy Day number 8, and I'm here with the iToo software people. And I think that at this point, after so many years you've been in the business, it would be interesting to hear the inception story of the company. So, Jaime.
Thanks, Ronen. Well, it's funny because when we travel around, a lot of people ask, where are you guys from, and how many of you are in the company, and when we say that we are from southern Spain, like people freaks out, and when we say that we are 7 people, they like faint directly. So this year we are talking about the story of the company, which we have never done. Basically, this is the 5th time we're coming to State of Our Academy to talk, and we've never talked about ourselves. So we thought this year that is man versus machine, artist versus machine, and at the end we are a small team of people fighting against the machines to make them work properly. It's like a daily fight against Macs and the computers, and to improve people's and artists' life. We thought that this year would be cool to talk about how all it started. So Daniel and his brother, it was 17 years ago, right? In 1999, they were working for this small engineering company, and they were commissioned to render a big golf course of 27 holes. Okay, back in 1999, I don't know what kind of computers we had back then, or I can't remember, but they were commissioned to do this massive job. 27 holes with trees, rocks, houses, everything that's around a golf course. So they started working on it, and when they were painting the tree number 1 million or whatever, they thought, hey, why don't we create some kind of tool to make this easier, in the way that we could make it parametric and just clone all elements, and in the way that the machine wouldn't get so much resources from it. And that's how the idea of parametric modeling was born. And then the first version came in I think around the year 2000, and Rayclone came in around 2009. So and since then it's been 17 years. So cool. And
okay, my intention, I was in IT software creating the tools that I always wanted to use as 3D artist. Fortunately, I know was a very good artist, but I was a good programmer. So, with my brother Carlos, started to decide what kind of tool can facilitate our daily work and create tools that make the machine work for us instead working for the machine. That's the key idea. The parametric modeling become an ideal solution for architecture and many kind of projects.
That's interesting. Usually the best things come because you have a niche you have to scratch on your own. Was it something similar with Railclone, or Railclone was a much easier transition from ForestPack as an idea and something you implemented?
we created Rayclone, and once it was done, we start wondering, what is this thing for? So Rayclone was something that we just, it was like a brain fart, and it came out. And sorry for that expression, I should have not used it, but we worked on it, and suddenly, it was done. And we know that that Rayclone is not as intuitive as ForestPack, and obviously that's why we've pushed so hard with Paul on creating so much content on Rayclone and pushing with tutorials, because we understand that there's a bigger learning curve for Rayclone, but actually Rayclone is a much more powerful tool than ForestPack. And ForestPack was linked to vegetation since the beginning. You've seen that we've done so many things regarding scattering other elements which are not plants, because we don't want to look like grocery stores, and we've done people, and we've done cars, and we've done all kind of assets. The idea, the same way that we've done presets with ForestPack, is starting building presets with Rayclone. Okay, because assets is something that it's in a radar. We work with a lot of third-party vendors, especially for plants, but doing our own assets is something that we have in mind, since like a few years ago, and that would be something that we could consider in the future.
You're doing a pretty good job at not just developing the software, you're also doing a really great support and obviously training. So can you tell us what's the importance of the other pillars? You have the code, but then you have the other two pillars. So the importance of that within the company and any, future plans or what else do you have in the pipeline to help people figure out better, faster how to use the tools?
Thanks. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, you can have the best software in the world, but if you don't support that software, it's all for nothing. And so support's been a really important ingredient in our kind of iToo makeup for a really long time. And that's obviously that supporting customers directly with the questions that they ask and the particular problems that we need to solve for them. But it's also about educating customers in how to use our software. And I think if you're not doing that as the software vendor, then you're failing the users. Some companies will leave that to other users to kind of produce the tutorials, but we should be telling people that, and that's sort of how that goes. That also helps with support, of course, because the better we educate people, the fewer questions we get, and that eases our support load. So it's an important function. Generally, our tutorials fit in a little bit of what we were just talking about as well. So we kind of have sort of 3 tiers of tutorial, if you like. We've got the kind of beginner tier, which is about introducing people to the core features and the new features every time we have a new release, so that people can get up and running quickly with them. Then we've got the more advanced tutorials that help to show people a little bit more in depth the less obvious features and introduce people to new ways of working with our plugins. And then the kind of third tier is showing people alternative uses for Railclone and Forest Pack, and that's it's both to combat the name Forest Pack, which again lends itself to trees, but also just to open people's minds and show people really what's actually possible with the plugins, because when you have something that's has such a broad range of applications, it's not immediately obvious what they can be used for. So there's a sort of responsibility on us to be able to say, hey, look, well, Railclone, you might think it's for this, but actually it's for roofs or whatever it is. Or same with Forest Pack. Trees, yes, sure, but also the insides of buildings, car parks. But we've had cheeses being scattered, bubbles on horses. We've been told have been scattered, huge crowds, that kind of thing. Or sort of pretty much anything where you need to create a lot of geometry. So the tutorials fulfill those kind of 3 functions, as well as tying into our overall kind of support program.
And if you think about it, it's all sequence. You start the company, then you try to find out what the market needs, and you create content to fulfill those needs, and then people start making questions. So then you have to have a great support guy. Exactly. So it's a circle. Yeah. And the good thing is that all that gives us such a valuable information and feedback, which is basically the basis of the roadmaps for future developments. So in addition to that, there's a fantastic thing that schools are doing. And right now we are here at Academy Day. And so the work that State of Our Academy is doing and all other ATCs all over the planet is great, because you're getting young people, to youngsters and beginners to know the software in a very specific way and in an easy way within the workflow. And that's very interesting, instead of having the guy, like we used to do, sitting at home 3 o'clock in the morning, with your coffee and trying to see the 8th tutorial of the day. So if you got a structured education, and schools do have that, that's a beautiful thing towards the future for the next generations.
What's next for Forest Pack? There's a new version coming up, so a little bit about it.
Okay, the next version, the 6th version of Forest Pack, it focuses on improve the usability of the plugin, make it easier, make it faster. There is a lot of improvements that they are not visible. However, the plugin is even more stable, more quickly, more compatible with our platform. And we're working to improve some of the workflows that we detected that are more convenient. we're improving one of the most successful feature that is the effects module that allows to our user to create their own programs working inside of the FlashBack core. I'm making the plugin more useful, including more libraries and more assets with the plugin.
It's funny that we did the survey 2 months ago. So you start preparing the survey like a month prior to it, and smash your brains to find like the right questions. And suddenly, when you ask people, "What do you want to see new in the plugins?" Like you want to say like presets, and like
It's quite interesting actually, because the survey presents this data as a kind of word cloud. And so we asked 2 questions. What do you currently find the most useful, and what would you like to see added? And both of them, the word cloud was just a huge word, one word, presets on both word clouds. So we thought, okay, we better listen to that then.
So that's why we don't have presets for Reclone right now, and that's something that I mentioned it before we want to work on. That's interesting.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. I'm very much looking forward to hear your presentation today, and keep on doing the great work you're doing, okay? Okay, thank you very much, and see you in the next interview.